And I was so excited to begin to incorporate homeopathy into my ophthalmology practice. And I can remember my first patient that I treated. He was an Indian doctor, a radiologist who was lecturing in Pittsburgh. And he came to me with a retinal artery occlusion. And this is where you go completely blind. It's like a stroke in the eye. And I was taught in my training that once you get a central retinal artery occlusion, there is no treatment. You're blind, there's nothing that can be done. So he came to me 5 days after that event. He was totally blind in the eye. And he believed in homeopathy, and he wanted me to treat him homeopathically. So I took his case. In homeopathy, when you take a case, you find out more about the person. You want to know their mental, emotional state, key features about them as a person. In other words, you treat the person, not the disease. Where traditional medicine just looks at the disease, they ignore the person. Everybody with high blood pressure gets the same medication. Doesn't matter who you are. But in homeopathy, we can. And so usually in homeopathy, we're looking for a causative event. What was going on around the time that he lost his vision? So as I was speaking to him, he told me that he loves to argue. And he said that even if I know I'm wrong, I like to wear the other person down to admit that I'm right. And I said to myself, well, I don't want to get into an argument with him.
Nope, you're not going to win.
Yeah. So as I was talking to him, I said, well, what occurred around the time you lost your vision? Interestingly, he told me he lost an argument to his wife. Now, to a regular eye doctor, they would think that has nothing to do with him losing his vision. But the homeopathic doctor, that's everything why he lost his vision. So I took all that information and selected a homeopathic remedy. And I told him, Dr. Dada, I don't know if this is going to work. Let's give it a try. And he was flying back to India. I says, well, take the remedy and let's touch base in a couple of days. So I talked with him on the phone. He said, Dr. Kondrot, wonderful remedy, wonderful remedy. Right after I took it, my vision started to get better. Now, perfect vision, perfect vision. Thank you, doctor. And then he said something to me that kind of changed me profoundly. He said, Dr. Kondrot, you act surprised. And I kind of contemplated that. He said, it's homeopathy. What do you expect? Homeopathy will produce miracles. So that comment from him kind of changed my whole perspective that, you sometimes, no matter how severe the condition is, and if there's no hope, there can be a simple solution. And I see miracles with homeopathy all the time. So that motivated me to, incorporate homeopathy into my practice. So all of my patients will get a homeopathic remedy, whether they want it or not.
Yep.